All right, welcome back, everybody. We are here for
Money Mondays.
Oh my gosh.
Every Monday, 3:30 Central.
I'm pumped. I already had my Starbucks. This is why this is water, folks. So I am rearing to go. What are we talking about today?
Talking about Starbucks and coffee.
Oh.
No, I will have mine soon enough as well. Today we're talking about our real estate journey, going from 0 to 3,000 units, and hopefully a lot more if we can freaking win something. So
it is competitive, very competitive. We just lost out on a 2-pack, which Ben is still disappointed about, but we're gonna find some deals because it's all about consistency. It's all about getting out there and taking action and making offers, folks, right? So we'll kind of go through a little bit of our journey. We do encourage everybody to ask questions, have comments, give us a like, give us a share. We want this to be an interactive show. If you have something that you want us to talk about, please drop that in the comments too. We'll try to work that into the schedule, right? So we're gonna get right into this. We've got some questions that did come in before. What has kept you motivated to continue to work hard to grow and scale?
It's fun to build a company, right? Build a culture, hire a team that kind of go out and kick butt and really it's a fun thing. I mean, for me, it's like there's always another hill to climb, right? So we can always do a bigger deal, a better deal, a different deal. It just never ends as to the various options for us to kind of go tackle. So I think that's what I personally love about it.
And I think people getting into multifamily need to do a couple things. You need to really dig deep and say, hey, do I really want to just, maybe have a couple deals where I can pay attention to those, and that's all I really want to do. I don't really want to build a team. I don't really want to have a commercial real estate firm like we do. Or do you really want to scale? You need to ask those questions before you get into this business. From the beginning, me and Ferris were very much aligned that we wanted to grow a company, right? And our journey to get from 0 to 3,000 units was a lot different than some other people's. And some people say, I don't want 3,000 units. If I could buy 300 on my own, I'm happy, I'm content, I'm making my money each month. Yeah. I don't have to deal with the
There's
team.
Not a right or wrong.
Manage. Yeah, there's not. Yeah. Right, but I wanted to make that distinction that our path might be different than what you want to do. So ask yourself that question when you start off: is do you want to scale like we do, or do you want to just have your 300 units? And we have a couple friends that do that. And they do very, very well. They own it outright. There's not a lot of syndication. They maybe have a JV partner or two, and they're happy. They don't have to manage a big team. They don't have to manage people. All that stuff can obviously drag on you a little bit, but I'd say, keeping me motivated is, yes, what's the next challenge that we can overcome, right? What is the thing that we can win? And people are like, what do you want to win? I said, I want to win everything, right? I want to win the next deal. I wanted to conquer the next challenge. I want to beat competitors, because you have to have that competitive mindset in order to really be a successful entrepreneur, right? If you're just kind of passive about the whole thing, right, people are going to run right over you. Your competitors are going to have a competitive edge over you, and they're going to ultimately put you out of business. So you always need to be striving to be better, to working through that next challenge, getting over that next hump, that next hill, and ultimately conquering stuff and winning things, right? That's what keeps me motivated, because that's just a passion that I have within, and I know Ferris does too, right? So again, you need to ask yourself, is that really you? And again, there's not a right or wrong answer to that. So what has been a driver for growth and success in your real estate syndication business?
I'd say disrupting the norm, doing things differently, right? Really finding, our unique value prop versus others. And so I think for us, constantly evolving, looking at things differently, standing out has been a big driver for us. And so that, and performing gets you far in life, right? Just do what you say you're going to do. You can get far, far in life. So I'd say that's a big one as well for us.
Yeah, I think and we were talking about this earlier today, right? You just do the things that are more challenging, bigger, than anybody else, and you're gonna stand out just by default for doing that, because people are gonna be like, man, you guys pulled that off, that's awesome. And so we have, just from the beginning, again, it's just maybe our personalities, we've always wanted to kind of tackle on those big challenges, right? And really kind of drive. I'd also say our candidness and our transparency has really helped us out too.
Totally agree.
We're in a business that's a lot of cloak and dagger stuff and smoke and mirrors. We use whatever analogy. There's just a lot of stuff that's not really true, or if it is true, it's being peddled for a certain amount of money. And we're friends with some gurus too, so I'm not sitting here to bash on that industry, but we're not here to sell you anything. right? We're here to present investment opportunities. If you like them, great. If you don't, that's fine. Not everything's going to work out for everybody, right? But I think us just being candid and transparent, having this show has put us on the map as just like, hey, you guys are just giving away golden nuggets left and right.
Try to do
for
something
free.
bigger, harder than most
and,
people.
we built the dang studio. And with no real, understanding of how big this could potentially be or what we could get from it, but we just wanted to give back to folks, right? And really teach people how the business works, how the inner workings of acquisitions and finding deals and getting equity for them and ultimately operating them, because there's a lot of people that had questions for us. We're like, hey, we're just going to create a show and just show people so everybody out in the internet can now ultimately check it out and see all the different content that we've got, right? So I'd say that has probably helped our success too. It's just being that way, being candid and transparent. All right, so another question. What has held us back from growing even faster?
I'd say COVID and operations, right? You have to make sure you continue to perform. So every time you get sucked in and spend time and effort there, it's, you're not out there looking for deals in equity. So. And then COVID, same thing, right? We just kind of took a pause and just slowed down everything. And, really, had we done some of those deals during that, it would have been fantastic. And so, again, I'd say that's another thing that slows us down. And maybe also growing slows you down, right? You have to spend your time hiring people, interviewing people. Yeah. That takes a lot of energy, too. So,
and I'd say, our role has changed, folks, right? I'd say from when we had no deals, me and Ferris were doing everything.
Yeah.
To now we have a lot of deals.
And Ferris does everything. No.
Fun.
I found the opportunity.
Fun. No, but at the end of the day,
we're the team's cheerleaders, right? That's what we're
motivators. We're ultimately facilitating communication. We're managing meetings and teams versus doing all the doing, and that's just how it is once a company kind of evolves, right? So you need to be able to take that transition, make that transition into being less of a doer, more of a manager of people that are doing for you. And some people that's hard, right? I love managing teams and keeping them motivated and all that stuff, and really kind of again breaking down processes and implementing things that are going to be more efficient. I love seeing that come together, and I think over the last 6 months, it's just really been like, wow. All right, we can really continue to push the needle on this, right? So I think operations has been something that's that we've had to kind of slow down, pause, fix, and then keep going. I think he brought up a good point. We spent 18 months between a deal that we bought in 2019 and then the next deal that we finally closed on in 2021. We didn't have any acquisitions in that 18-month window. Obviously partly because of COVID, and then some of it was just like the ramp up to COVID, then just kind of the ramp back up after COVID took, some months. Because what it is, it's like riding a bike, right? You're going to remember how to do acquisitions and how to underwrite and how the equity raise all works and stuff, but it's like you gotta brush off the cobwebs and kind of get going. So after 18 months, sometimes that takes some time. So I'd say that's probably the biggest things that have slowed us down. Now it's about finding the right deals.
Yep.
And apparently we're being as competitive as we possibly can, and some of them we're just still not winning.
Still losing. It's frustrating.
It is extremely frustrating, but we're going to get some good deals coming up. All right, if you had to do it all over again, what would you do differently? Oof. And we're still adapting. We haven't ended what we're doing
differently. I don't know. Not a lot. There's mistakes along the way, small things here and there, but anything big that comes up to mind?
I can't really think of anything that's like, earth-shattering that would be so insightful that you'd be like, oh, that's a golden nugget, right? But, I think the one thing, if I was to do it over again, is to not stop acquisitions. I had read this is a Dave Lindahl, he had said, hey, never slow down on acquisitions. And you get kind of scared because you're like, hey, I got all these LOIs out, I'm in best and final on 20 different deals. What if they all hit? Well, guess what? I'm going to tell you right now that as much as we like and as competitive as we think that we're being, they won't all hit, folks. So don't slow down acquisitions because you got a couple things that you think that you might potentially get, because the likelihood that all of those are going to hit at the same time, guess what? It's probably not going to happen. And if it does, come reach out to us. We love code GPing on good deals.
Yes.
So there's ultimately people in the market that can help you get those things across the finish line. So my point is, right, if I was to do it all over again, that 18-month span, I wouldn't slow down. There probably would have been maybe 3, 4, 5 months when we were really kind of in the depths of COVID, where the market was a little shaky, we didn't really know what was going to happen. I might have probably slowed down then, but I should have ramped back up a lot quicker, right? And so that's probably what I would have done differently. if I was to have it do over again. But I mean, we've kind of created a different culture, a different type of business, and we've reinvested a lot into the company. And I think, again, I wouldn't change any of that for the world, because now I got a great team. I can, we can go on trips. We're going to Iceland this next week. How would we do that if it was just the Ben and Ferris show?
Yep.
Right? So lucky to have these folks, and we're eternally grateful for it. So, next question. What is your vision of the future, and how do you plan to hit your goals? Oh my gosh, these are really deep.
I know, people are asking hard questions. For us, it's continuing to grow like we have, right? The vision is really to streamline all the departments, get Ben and Ferris out of all the weeds, right? And really get everything kind of humming along, where we can focus more on the business, not in the business, right? I think that's really the vision for the next 6 months for us.
Yeah.
How do we plan to hit the goal? Is really bringing on good people, right? I mean, if you're awesome, you're looking for, join an awesome team, you let us know.
Team@disruptequity.com. Send us your resume. We are looking to hire some more great rock stars.
We hired three people started last week, and 2 more starting in 2 weeks. So it's kind of...
No, we're fleshing out our team, both at Disrupt Equity as well as Disrupt Management. So if you think that, hey, you want to join a growing team, let us know. We'd love to see your resume, right? So my vision of the future, again, I think it is similar to what Ferris is saying, seeing us getting more and more out of the weeds, enabling and helping kind of motivate our teams, But I think if you're able to do that, most goals are attainable. I mean, we're not putting out crazy stuff. I think our goal for this year, just so everybody knows, is to buy $300 million in real estate. Right? And so for some folks, that seems like a lot. For us, hey, we probably should have done that last year or even the year before that. Yeah. But we're stepping into it because of COVID. And I think we're going to hit it with the team that we've got, with the acquisition pipeline that we have. But I mean, I would love there to be a future where, we're still involved in the acquisitions and the equity raising part of the process. I think those are the 2 things that me and Ferris really enjoy. Finding the deals, putting the deals together, raising the money for it, and getting it across the finish line, and then ultimately handing off to our operations team. I think I still enjoy that part of the business, and I always want to be a part of that, right? And I love, and for anybody that knows me personally, they know that I've underwritten a lot of deals. I love the analysis piece. Even though I'm a sales guy, I still love the numbers, and I love working a spreadsheet. And I think, putting a deal together, how do we make it work, right? And maybe it doesn't work, but I love that piece too, and I don't ever see that changing, right? So, but if we can get all the other stuff off our plate, just focus on the great things, we'll be good to go. All right.
Good.
Do you have any advice for scaling? I'm going to kind of change this up. Do you have any advice to scaling a business, not just multifamily? Because we have other people that watch the show.
And I mean, the answer, I guess, applies for both. It's bring on good people sooner than later, right? If your goal is to scale, you're not going to do it well alone.
No.
And so, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Same
Look
thing,
at
right?
you.
So if you're looking at scaling a business, I'm a lot more seasoned and knowledgeable, and I co-wrote the Art of Work
you
with.
did a great job. That was a good quote. That was a good quote.
But and it's true, right? So same thing,
true.
right? We continue to double down and dump more into the company to bring on people to allow us to scale, and later we can kind of reap the benefits of it. So it's really about bringing on people, help you scale, people better than you, right? Put people that are better than you around you, that
smarter than you.
Yeah, make better decisions, dig into things deeper than you could, et cetera. So
think about the president, right? The president's he's not coming up with all the ideas and making all the decisions.
He doesn't know all the foreign policies of every country.
He relies on a group of very intelligent advisors, and then he picks, based on their feedback, the right decision, right? We're the same way, right? We've created a team around us that, in a lot of ways, knows a lot better stuff and better strategies than we do, and we pick and choose which way we want to go, right? But I would agree, you have to reinvest your money. You have to be patient, right? Yes, you can make a lot of money in this business, and you can make a lot of money in a lot of different businesses, but you have to be patient. It takes time, right? We've both been in multifamily for quite some time. And so, and we've really just started kind of seeing the benefit of that the last few years. So people need to get in there. They're fresh off a boot camp and they want to retire from their job in 6 months. It doesn't work like that, right? And ultimately, if you want to create a business that's going to scale, you need to reinvest in it so you can have not only the team, but you have the platforms and the software and the processes and the whole shebang, so you can create a real business, right? Because we're big proponents of, hey, we'd much rather have a smaller piece of a very big pie than a little bit bigger piece of a smaller pie, right? And think about it. The numbers always work in our favor. So don't always feel like you got to take all of it, right? And also the one thing that I was going to point out too, right? We're partners. 50-50 on disrupt equity, but at the end of the day, sometimes partnerships aren't great for everybody. Sometimes you want to say, hey, I'm kind of a type A person, I just want to have my own thing, right? You obviously have to build it up to a certain point, then you're going to start hiring on employees. Then you have your employees do it, right? But at the end of the day, you have a team and you got to divide and conquer. So that's how you're going to scale any business, doesn't matter if it's multifamily or any other entrepreneurial endeavor, right? So, boom, we got through it. I know we didn't answer everybody's questions, but we want to pause and allow people to dump their questions in, because every time we hop off, there's always like 3 or 4 that pop in after fact. So if you have questions about scaling a business, real estate, what's happening in the market, any question under the sun, we can talk about it.
Yeah, so if you have comments, questions, please leave them. We're happy to answer them here live on Money Mondays. Otherwise, we're going to keep going. So,
oh my gosh, does everybody know how to scale a business?
Everybody's an expert at it, man.
Luckily, wow. Okay, well, we had to learn the hard way.
Yeah. So,
but we'll go ahead and keep going if there's no other questions.
Yeah, let's keep going.
All right. So I'm on a mission to serve those who serve us. Right, so I'm working with Eric Upchurch and his group, and we're working in coordination with the Veterans Community Project, which aims to provide housing and walk-in support services to veterans. Right, I'm looking to raise $30,000. So I would love every dollar that you can give, even if it's $5. Right, what we're trying to do is we're trying to build tiny houses for homeless veterans. Right, so let's take care of those who've taken care of us. Right, so check it out, bit.ly/donate to Homes for the Brave. Right, and again, I am matching every dollar up to $15,000 for a total of $30K, right? And so I love your participation in this. If you have any questions, reach out to me directly. Love to kind of put you on to the overall organization. They're a bunch of great folks, and they're doing some great work. So
we did get a comment come in for you. Keep going. Let's quickly answer this one. At what point did you realize you need to hire the first employee?
I think
point in time you run out of time.
Yeah, I think that's probably that's a hard thing to kind of put like a unit count or assets under management or deals. I think ultimately when you start creaking and you say, hey, I'm spending too much time on operations, I can't do any acquisitions, right? Might be a good opportunity for you to hire on somebody, right? I think our first hire was like an operations person.
Yeah.
Right? Then we hired on Shanna, for marketing, and then we hired on an asset manager. Right? But operations was more kind of a hodgepodge of everything and anything under the sun, right? I think if I was to do it over again, I probably would be, our first 2 hires would be marketing and asset management. Because I think those are the 2 things that take a lot of time and have to be done by experts, but they ultimately will take away from the acquisition piece. So you have to understand that, right? Ours is a very numbers-driven game. The more deals I look at, the more offers I make, the more likelihood I'm going to get something under contract. So if you ever see anything taking away from your acquisitions, then you probably need to look to delegate or potentially hire somebody on to take that stuff off of your plate, right? So I know I didn't answer your question 100%. I think it's ultimately up to the person and how much bandwidth they have. I think that also depends on, do you have a W-2? Right? And then we've talked about this on the show before, right? It doesn't always have to be a stateside employee that somebody thinks that they have to hire, right? Virtual assistants are great. They help us with all kinds of stuff here at Disrupt Equity and Disrupt Management, and they're a bunch of great folks. So check those folks out. That might be a lower cost solution for you to ultimately get some help around your organization as well. So, oh my gosh, multifamily investing horror stories. We've only got a couple of those. So check that out. That's going to be our next meetup. It's coming up. We had to bow wave it. The Astros took over our venue. Can you believe those guys? I'll let them slide. Just bring home another pennant for us, guys. But check that out at http://www.disruptequity.com/HTX meetup for registration there. It's right there on the screen. It's going to be April 14th, which is next Thursday, 7 p.m. at Pitch 25 Beer Park here in Houston. So if you're in the Houston area, even if you're flying in, even if you're just in for the day, come out. We've got a bunch of great speakers. We got Boris Sanchez, Martin Bronstein, Kyle Jones, Michael Lay. Between all those guys, they got
a lot of knowledge.
They got a lot of knowledge, and they got hundreds of millions of dollars in real estate too. So you can rest assured that these guys definitely have some horror stories that can probably augment some of the ones that you've probably heard on this show. From lenders to operations to everything in between. I was out, one of our shows, one of our properties last week. Guess what I found? I don't even know if I told you this. So I walked in, I saw a few units as we were doing the DD. Just what did I see in the unit?
Mattresses.
Stripper pole.
Oh, you didn't tell me about this.
Oh my gosh. Can you freaking believe it? I only saw like 10 units, and out of one, there's a stripper pole in it. That wasn't really a horror story, but these are the types of things that you're going to see on a multifamily property, folks.
That's why you stuck around another day.
Yeah, I was just like, man, this is kind of crazy. But anyway, you're going to probably hear a lot worse than that. But we'll try to keep it PG for all the folks that don't want to hear all the nitty-gritty details. So check that out. That's our next meetup next Thursday at Pitch 25. All right. Oh my gosh. What are we talking about?
Multifamily Investor Network, big conference. We'll have the date nailed next week and announce.
But can we give a tentative, or do we not feel
it's going to rhyme with Beatle? And it might be, some month that is the month of 4th of July.
Oh my gosh! All right.
And it might be the 23rd of that month, but there's a lot of maybes.
Is it the 23rd or 26th?
23rd.
23rd. All right, it's 23rd.
Maybe
In Seattle. That might rhyme with Seattle.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, folks, we are nailing that down. I know there's been a lot of people that have already purchased tickets. Thank you for your confidence in us. You know that we're going to have it at a great venue. We're not going to have it in Topeka, Kansas.
No.
No.
Not yet.
Maybe one time I'll be bullish on Topeka, but not right now.
No.
But join us there. Check it out. www.mfinvestornetwork.com. Put in the coupon code EARLYBIRD, $150 off. We don't make any money on this. We're ultimately just trying to get a bunch of awesome people to come out there and network with us, learn from a bunch of great speakers, panelists, and just a bunch of networking in general. That's going to be promos, going to run through April 14th. Again, it's going to be in July, probably somewhere on the West Coast, and it starts with Seattle.
Yep.
All right. So what's coming up next week?
How to quickly analyze multifamily properties.
Oh, whoa.
She's giving us the hard one. We're going to be coming back from Iceland the night before.
Oh my gosh, I'm about to do math.
And so
Come on, Shanna.
We'll be awake. We'll be
but check that out. So we will go through some of our tips. We do a quick and dirty before it does a full underwriting. Maybe we could talk a little bit about the process, and kind of give you a little bit, peek behind the curtain of how we do acquisitions. We are looking at over 150 deals a month, folks. So we know a little bit about underwriting, and I've personally underwritten about 1,000 deals. So tune in next week to Money Mondays and how to quickly analyze multifamily properties. We'll see you there.
Thank you.